Okay, my name is Umar Adamu. I am the founder and COO of Foxpay. So I was born and raised here in Yola, Adamawa State. I have a background in computer science. I have my Bachelor of Technology degree from Adamawa University of Technology, Yola. I finished my service this year. And prior to my current position, I have been a software engineer with a Canadian-based company, and I have done some quality assurance engineering services to some service providers here in Nigeria. So I have background in quality assurance and software engineering. That's a little about me.
Are you talking to me?
Foxpay is a fintech platform, and the intention is building a cross-border payment platform for Africa and African businesses. African countries do business transactions struggles. We all know like the difficulty and challenges like a lot of people go through when it comes to payment, cross-border payment. So we came to this idea by stumbling across one person who came to make some business in Yola, and he narrated his entire story, and we observed that, okay, we have been experiencing this similar problem when it comes to receiving money, maybe from your cousin, sibling, or uncle who is living abroad. This has been very difficult. So you cannot say like you are expecting money in a day, like, and get it like without going through different struggle. So that's when we decided to, okay, like, can we dive in, like me and my friend, okay, like what can we do about this? Is there a way we can fit in and see if we can put our experience, like my computer science experience and his information technology experience, like what can we do about this? Like, can we able to help our family that are abroad, like, and see how we can make money from that solution? We have a lot of discussion. We consult a lot of people, like especially businessmen and students that are studying abroad, like, Nigeria, like we have a lot of people studying in Ghana, Accra, Ghana, Togo, Benin. So, and one funny thing is that, like, you can ask someone who lives in Nigeria, like, which currency is someone in Cameroon using. He won't be able to tell you, like, all they know is dollar, euro. So their neighboring countries, they can't tell you which type of currency these people are using. Then we decided, okay, like, how can we bring this solution and see that we didn't eliminate like that currency? We finally found a way that, okay, like, we are building this solution and to maintain this currency, like for every country, they can use their own currency without converting your currency to dollar or without converting dollar to another currency. So that's how we get the idea of Foxpay, and eventually we met a lot of people in the finance sector. They gave us tips like, this is what is going on, this is what you should do, these are the bodies that are responsible, these people can help you and this cannot. So that's how we get to come up with Foxpay. So as I said earlier, like, I recently graduated. So this is a new startup. Like, we built it this year. It was built in this year. And the rate at which we have progressed, like, is quite amazing. Like, I can't say, like, I know a startup that have grown so fast, like, or moved so fast the way we did, because from the ideation, registration, licenses, development, and any other thing that you can think of is done within this year. So imagine from February to October or November. We are in November now. So all these things are done within this period. And at the moment now, we are currently on test. So, and we are testing on 5 African countries, which is Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and Egypt. So, and currently, like in Nigeria only, we have over 2,000 people on waiting list that are willing to have a test, have a look at the product, test it, and do some financial transactions. But we want to make sure that, okay, like, whenever we release it to the public, like, it is secured and we are legally compliant to do such operations. So that's why people, like the general public, don't have access to it at the moment. But the test is going fine. Like, we have a lot of positive remark about it from the testers in those countries. and here in Nigeria. And even from the people that we have consulted, like we want them to have a look at the product here locally to try testing the transactions, are all satisfied with the solution. We have quite a lot of competitors in the fintech industry. And to be honest, like the big giants here in Africa, like are all from the fintech. And one nice thing about it is that like we are confident in our solution, and we have a very good niche, and our own approach is quite different from our competitors. So this gives us an upper edge to get our revenue from the market without too much struggle, I can say. Like we don't have to struggle too much to get our own share of the market. And the competition, like I think it's a healthy competition. Like we want them so that can keep us on our toes to see that, okay, we are doing and we are delivering a quality service to our clients.
Do I really care?
From our own projection, I can say like when it comes to job, we are open for, like we are looking forward to at least maybe employ not less than five people, because we want to initially launch it to the public by next month, that is December. So from these countries, we have already started making arrangements for getting 5 country representatives, like from every country that we are about to launch. We are launching in only 5 African states at the moment. So we want at least like 5 from those states, and we already have like 10 here in Nigeria, which are fully active. And with that people, with this manpower, we are hoping to at least get maybe, let's say, like a revenue of 100 to 250K in the next 3 months. That is like when we launch on December, we are expecting like January, February, and March. Like we are targeting that because we have already customers on waiting list. With the thousands of people that we are having from each country, we are looking forward like to target just maybe, let's say, 50% from them. If they patronize us like maybe once or twice, we are looking at that range, like around 100 to 250.
You mean you don't give a damn? Oh.
Actually, there is quite a very big challenge, like which is the licensing. You know, like when you are into the fintech sector, like you have to be very, very careful. Like there are legal compliances that must be adhered to. So this is our big challenge, is to obtain a license to operate as maybe, let's say, mobile money or a microfinance. Like all of those licenses are expensive. And even if they are not expensive, like for one to get access to that license, like you must bring a lot of papers, like you must do a lot of paperwork, like some due diligence and a lot of checks. So it is quite challenging, but to be honest, like if you see it from the other side, it's for the safety of the startup and for his clients also. That's why this is done. So startups like can say, okay, it is very difficult. We once said that, but after we find out, okay, like there are a lot of be able to business, we know, okay, fine, let's try it, and we find out that, okay, it's working and it is quite for the good. Eventually, we are going to have our own mobile money license because we already have access to somebody who is willing to invest and make arrangements for that license. So we can no longer operate as partners with other platforms that already acquired the license. We can have our own license.
Yeah. But wait a minute.
Yeah, raising funds is actually difficult for us here in Nigeria, especially the northern part of Nigeria. As I said, I have a background in computer science, so I'm not a business. I don't have background in entrepreneurship or other science, other business part of the district. So is my co-founder and everyone on the team. Like we are all computing, information technology, and other people. So we have to like tax ourselves from, since we believe in the solution, we charge ourselves, like we tax ourselves, okay, if you can be able to sponsor this, bring from your account. Eventually, like we started getting people from our family who are willing to like give us maybe 500,000, 600, like just to be able to see the project keeps running, like because we are a little platform, since you can see the time frame like from which, so we have to outsource some develop, like we pay and we have to do some registration licenses and other things, like all of this actually require money. So we get that from, let's say, family and one angel investor who is kind enough to support our startup. So as for now, these are the only type of funding or like income that we use to grow our startup with.
Shouldn't I care?
Okay, yeah. Actually, there are a lot of policies in the Nigerian, let's say, the tech ecosystem here for startups. We can say like you heard of the Nigerian Startup Act that was recently implemented, actually influenced or manipulated with the policies. They are actually quite a little tricky to understand. If you see it from the other side, you think, okay, like these policies are meant to bring a startup down, like, or maybe like they are not favorable. Of course, like there are some influence, like for you to get access to, let's say, okay, maybe funding or grants like loan, maybe let's say Bank of Industry and all that. There are a lot of steps that maybe you have to follow. And if you reach that place, if you don't know someone, maybe they can say, okay, like you cannot get access to that fund, or like maybe it is taking time. So another thing, this has been very difficult, like for startups, like, and I think the Nigerian government can do a lot when it comes to maybe like giving startups access, like making it easier, like for startups to access funding or grants or loan, like for them to grow. So for policies that are currently available in the made available by the Nigerian government, I can say when it comes to the funding or the money aspect of helping startups, they are not quite clear or quite accessible for startups. And I believe maybe the government is well aware of it. If they can do something to help and see that, okay, this is really clear and accessible, make it open, maybe like just democratize it, like it's accessible for anyone, just open, go and get it. And it is not ambiguous, like just they can tell you, okay, you have access to Bank of Agriculture, Bank of Industry, like this is where you can reach out to when you need funding. You can come to and tell you like, okay, this is not for particular type of startup, like we are only targeting this type of stuff. And the papers will quite indicate different, like they will say like startup, they didn't categorically identify, okay, only startup in this sector. So if maybe like this can be made clear, like make it open, accessible to anyone, everybody, I think these policies will be favorable to anyone if they are quite really clear and obvious and targeted towards everybody.
Oh, with all these errands.
Okay, yeah, actually, there are a lot quite of motivations. First, let's start with, okay, like my background. Like I was raised here and I have seen an opportunity from the problems people face. Like I live in a border state. I am in between Nigeria and like our state. There is a lot of business, like a lot of business. People used to come to Yola, make some purchases and go back to Cameroon with it. And they have been going through different struggles, different challenges for them to transfer money or like exchange money from one currency to the other, let's say from Nigeria to Cameroon. So we noticed that, okay, like this is an opportunity that if we dive into, we can have a place to be part of the people that are helping solve social and economic challenges in Africa. So we decided like, okay, this is one opportunity and one motivation that is holding us. We need to see that this problem is solved and we stand by it, like to see that, okay, yes, finance, like cross-border payment has been made possible and is accessible by anyone. Everybody can now have access to cross-border payment, like without going through different challenge. And also one is that the only option, or let's say the majority, the option that is well known to people now is using crypto. Cryptocurrency is not a legal tender here in Nigeria. So we notice that, okay, since the government is not okay with it, they feel it's not safer, we can do something about fiat currency. So this is also a motivation. If people notice that, okay, they can send money instantly from one country to another, and in just the matter of seconds or minutes, they can come in. So we say, okay, like, yes, this is an opportunity, and we are confident that, okay, this is going to work.
Do this, do that, every day at home and outside.
Well, actually, for me, is let's say not a person, it's an entire family. The Rothschild family. I know maybe like you know them, so they are my role model because of their stand on the finance sector. Like they have been in the banking industry for some centuries. They didn't shake, and you cannot see them on the news. They don't engage themselves in other things apart from their business. So I'm trying to see if maybe like I can emulate them and focus on my business or our business, like do what is right, leave what is not part of my activity aside, and do, because you cannot see them on the news. They always do their business. They are not in the news. They are not in the politics. They just do their business. So that family, like actually, I think is my role model. They are my role model.
Hold a duty to self to care. I know why I'm here. Why I'm here.
Well, I think, well, I cannot blame them, of course. Like, they have seen an opportunity. So this is how the entire life, I think, the system of human works. Whenever you see an opportunity, I think the best thing to do is to utilize the opportunity and make a good use of it. Even us that are here in Nigeria, or like me that started to build a solution in the fintech, is because of the opportunity that I have seen. Like, if somebody sees an opportunity and he is quite confident about it, that yes, he can make use of the opportunity, I won't blame that person. I will even encourage that person to pursue that dream. Like, because everyone has a dream. If your dream is to go for something that makes you happy, I'm okay with that. Someone should go ahead and do it. Like, I'm quite okay with that. Well, my advice to everyone, or the young ones especially, like people of my age and below, I can tell them like, okay, the journey is not that easy, but commitment and dedication is really important. And if they are to commit, they should make sure that they are committing on the right thing. Like doing something alone, I don't think is quite a good thing. And even if you are doing like in a team, opening it up to other people, like consult other people, see their own view, like let them give you feedback, like let them criticize if they can. Like this will help you improve and grow better. So my advice to them is just open up to people, like whenever you're doing something, whatever you're doing, like communicate. Let the people know you are doing it and let them know like you are open to suggestion and criticism. So they shouldn't take it as a challenge or maybe like, please, whatever you are doing, like communicate, like open up since the ideation stage, like make a lot of consultation, open your idea to a lot of people, give room for contribution, comments, feedback, and criticism. Like, because I believe there is no essence in building a startup that will be rejected at the end. Like, it will be better, like, if contributions are made at the early stage, like since maybe the beginning, its inception, like so that it can be implemented as part of your solution, than when finishing and ending up knowing that you don't have market or people will not adopt your solution. So, and other thing is commitment and dedication, and maybe like having a strong passion in what you are doing. If you are passionate about your solution or your company, like I think this can help you at least stand. Then commit to it. With commitment and passion, I think you can go a distance you could never imagine. Yeah. Actually, I think let's say two things: investment and partnership. Like if these things can be maybe discussed, a lot of startups, a lot of founders like cannot really identify who they should partner with and who they should take his money as an investment. So if these two topics can be discussed or maybe like be made clear to anyone, I think for me, like I will enjoy that one. Like that would be my recommendation, and that would be the best part for me. Like if I'm to attend. Just maybe let's say thank you for having me. Like I want to thank you team because I believe like okay, this is one of the nicest thing maybe I have seen like happening here. The last time I see something like this was when the media team they wanted to document my activity, like my startup, and do a lot of things. And I was like, yeah, this would be nice if people in Africa also are doing something like this. So really, I will say thank you for this amazing initiative.
Something really wrong with my generation. Are we too young to leave? Yeah, in some opinions we're lazy, doors are clueless, timid and coward. Not measuring up to the good old days. Like yesterday's ingenuity of Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, and Thomas Edison that shaped today. Of Gandhi, Nkrumah, Mother Teresa, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, and Martin Luther King, who had a dream. The bravery of Umar Adamu, Bob Marley.